Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm JC, and today's video is going to be a little different for me because I don't usually let people in on my brainstorming process per se, but I've been asked about it several times, and I initially just couldn't really figure out a way to film my process. It's a little chaotic. It's a much of me talking to myself. But I just thought, well, why not just talk to the camera, being you guys, like I'm talking to myself, working through the idea or whatever. So, and it filmed the entire process because that lasts a long time. And to be honest, I still don't have all of the kinks ironed out of the story, but um, I just wanted to let you see just a little bit of my chaotic brain dumping mind scrolling process of trying to figure out where the story is going and how I'm going to start it and what pieces I'm going to fit together, what pieces I'm not going to keep from my brain dump notes, that kind of thing. Also, there's a little snippet of me backstage talking to the girls, Nia, Tiffany, and Des, a bit about the idea and them giving me some feedback and some ideas, one of which I am definitely taking. But I'll let you know more about that on the other side of this. But for now, an inside look at my brain and how it works. A little bit, not all of it. That's far too chaotic for me to show you, but here we go. So, just to let you in a little bit on my brainstorming part of the outlining process. Now, I noted in the Prep-Tober video what I'm going to do to get ready for Prep-Tober, that my notebook is nothing fancy because I didn't want to waste the rest of this notebook and change it to a pretty one like I really wanted to, but whatever. This is what we have. So, excuse my handwriting. It's not the best. The arthritis, it kind of messes with the handwriting these days. So, these are my notes. Now, these are the ones I hand wrote, but I did actually type them up into nice compiled notes, which is what I have been reading over for the last few days, trying to get it together. I've made notes on my notes, as you see. And so, crossed out some things or starred some things. Question marked some things because I don't know if I'm going to still use that. Basically, I'm just dumping out everything in my brain, possible scenarios for the story. I even have, let's see, I have ways the book could start, different scenarios, different story angles for it to start with. Even have a possible opening scene here, maybe chapter 1. I don't want to let you read too much of that because I may use that. Some little things here. And let's see. I said I'm using the calendar, but I haven't been following it very well, but I'm trying to make up for the days I've missed. This is some research here. As you can see the subject matter. And, yeah. Currently, I am on a live stream as I am working through this, as you see. So I don't usually let anyone in on this process, on the brain dump, because, it could be a little chaotic. My brain works in story mode. It kind of works chaotically. I just randomly toss out stuff, and I talk to myself a lot, but at least now I won't feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys. So, book 4, as I think I mentioned in the Prep-Tober video, is going to be, the central focus is going to be, obviously Mackenzie Brown is the main character, but I always have the secondary person that the story unfolds around, or maybe not unfolds around, maybe that's a bad way to put it. The central character that a person close to that character is wrapped up in the story that Mackenzie is investigating or working on. So in this case, it is Mr. Phillips, her editor in chief, her boss, who is sort of like a father figure to her, or he thinks of her as like a daughter figure. And so that is the person that the focal point, well, it's really going to be his son. So, background on Mr. Phillips. He was married. He's no longer married, but the person he was married to, they have a son. Well, he thought that the son was his. She lied and told him the son was his. He found out that the son was not his, but he still claimed him, name on the birth certificate, took care of, well, paid child support like he's supposed to, but the mother won't let him have anything to do with the son. The mother in turn told the son that he didn't want anything to do with him. So, and then she moved the boy away. So that's a little backstory on him. She remarries. The stepfather is not a great guy. So the son, on top of thinking that the man he knows to be his father, because he doesn't actually know that he's not his biological father, so it's the only father he's known, the one he still thinks is his father, and he thinks that his father doesn't want anything to do with him, that he's too busy, that, he just doesn't want him as a son anymore, which is not true, but that's what his mother has told him. And then his stepfather is abusive to him and his mother. So he, at first I was having it where he got involved with drugs, and then I decided, going over my notes, that I didn't want that. Well, not in the way that I was initially planning. I was going to make him he was going to use drugs. Now he does drink to cope with all the stuff that's going on in the home, and he smokes weed or whatever, but that's the extent of it. Now, how he gets involved with the drug cartel, that is going to be okay. I think let me backtrack. Or no, not backtrack. Let me move over to Mackenzie. So I think I've decided, and I could change my mind, but I think I've decided that the story that Mackenzie's going to be investigating is going to, okay, so there's 3 missing girls. And the families of the missing girls have sought Mackenzie out personally, because they know she likes to get to the heart of a story. She likes to really find out what happened, and she doesn't just gloss over things like other reporters or anchors do. That's their reasoning for coming to her. So one of the girls is going to, sadly, turn up dead. But I don't know if that's going to be at the beginning of the book or not. I'm not sure yet. But the 3 girls that are missing, and it is believed that they have gotten wrapped up in a sex trafficking ring. That also has to do with the drug cartel. Well, the drug cartel runs, the same person who runs the drug cartel runs the sex trafficking ring. And so the girls are disposable to them. Y'all have heard how the whole sex trafficking ring thing works. They're disposable. They don't really care about them. So that's she's getting to why the girls being missing and finding the girls, but she's also going to get to the crux of how they got wrapped up in it. It's going to be a social media site that all the girls ended up connected with. I'll make up some name. Tentatively, the name I have right now it's a site called Social Butterfly, and it's tentatively for teenagers who struggle with social anxiety issues and meeting people. So it's a site for awkward, anxiety-ridden teenagers to meet people. So they think going into the site, and then they somehow get wrapped up into this sex trafficking ring slash drug cartel, because some of the girls are used to traffic drugs. Not all, but some. And so behind it all, the mastermind behind all of the cartel is a corrupt politician. So the corrupt politician is someone who Mackenzie has actually went up against before. He is a congressman in Pennsylvania now, but he was a city council member in Baltimore, where the story is set, where she lives. He was up for re-election as for a council, the council member seat. He was up for re-election, and Mackenzie was onto a story that involved him embezzling money from a previous banking institution that he once headed up and was, well, maybe not headed up, but maybe manager of. And so basically, she got to the root of that story, and he was not reelected. So he moved his family to Philadelphia. Now, here's the gist, and here's where the son comes in for Mr. Phillips. The son lives in Pennsylvania. The son has a best friend. The best friend is named Regina, Reggie for short. And so Regina lets the son come and stay in her room sometimes when things get real bad at home or whatever. And sometimes he'll go stay in a shelter. He'll run away for days at a time and he'll stay in a shelter and, that sort of thing. He starts trying to figure out how to save up some money so he can leave and like get emancipated and be on his own and take care of himself. He figures the quickest way to do that is to be a drug runner for the cartel. And he stumbles upon something or sees something he wasn't supposed to see. He sees the politician do something. Haven't figured out all of the logistics yet. He sees the politician do something that, he shouldn't have seen. And the thing about Regina is, so how Regina ties to the politician, because she does, is, and okay, fair warning, this is about to get a little cruel. So, just fair warning. But, so Regina is the illegitimate child of the politician. Her mother and the politician had a tryst, one night thing, something. I haven't figured out all the details there either. He was, needless to say, he was married when he slept with her mother. They had a baby. He paid her all. He basically, at the beginning, when she told him she wasn't going to get rid of the baby, she's going to have it, he gave her lots and lots of money. And the money was supposed to be that she never came back to him again, that she pretended he didn't exist. This was not his child, whatever. So what precipitated what's going to happen to Regina, because Regina is going to be also at some point considered missing, but not necessarily in the same way the other girls are missing. So Regina's mother hits a rough patch. Things get hard. She's kind of burned through all the money that he gave her. It was like a one lump sum thing, not a continuous thing. And he's a politician, so of course he doesn't want it to get out that he had a child outside of his marriage. So she comes to him for more money. And he essentially hires some PIs or some shady guys to kind of sniff something out about the mother to use as leverage against her. Turns out the mother is squeaky clean. She basically is all about her daughter. She doesn't even date, really. So there's nothing in her closet that the politician can use against her. But the daughter, however, is best friends with Mr. Phillips' son. He does have a name. Did I name him yet? I think I named him. I'll come back to that. But she's best friends with the son of Mr. Phillips. And like I said, the son he goes to the local cartel guys. He wants to be a drug runner, not use the drugs, obviously, but he wants to be a drug runner or whatever to make some money. He's trying to build up some money so he can leave home, get emancipated or whatever, and be on his own and be able to afford to be on his own. So he does what they tell him to do. runs the drugs. They tell him to run. He doesn't know anything about the sex trafficking part of the organization. He will later, but he doesn't know anything about that yet. He, um, I think what he sees or what he witnesses is the politician having one of the girls killed. I don't know if it's, ooh, maybe it is going to be one of the missing girls that Mackenzie is already looking for. Oh, that just came to me. Oh, pen. Okay, so maybe it's one of the missing girls that he sees gets killed by, well, politician doesn't do his own dirty work. He has his hitman do it, but he's there when it's done, and the son recognizes the politician, obviously. And okay, that could work. That could work really well. And so, okay, sorry, got off track. So Regina is his best friend. So when the politician, has the mother followed, she's squeaky clean, nothing in her closet, but the PI was like, but the daughter, however, is fairly close to the politician's illegal operations. Because she's best friends with the son, who happens to be one of the drug runners, who happens to be someone who saw something he shouldn't have seen. And so he basically orders a hit on his own daughter, essentially. He doesn't think anything of her. So in his mind, she's nothing to him. He's that corrupt. So he orders the hit on the daughter. But not only does he order the hit on the daughter, he orders it. He orders them to make it look like the other girls who they dispose of. But he also orders them to make it look like the son did it, the best friend, the one that she's running around with. So they're gonna like drug him or whatever, and he doesn't do drugs. So he drinks. So he thinks maybe he got blackout drunk or whatever. I think he's gonna wake up next to her, and she's already gonna be dead. He's going to think he did it, but he didn't. They'll find that out later through the investigative work of Mackenzie. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should. So, my dilemma right now is those are some of the details. I haven't ironed out everything, like I said, but those are some of the details. My thing now is how to start it. Because one of the ways I think I could start it is for it to start with Regina's body being found without any ID. So she's marked Jane Doe. That's one way. The other way is the son waking up next to his dead best friend and running away. He's on the run. He thinks he killed her. Doesn't want to get caught. He seeks out his father, who is Mr. Phillips, and that's another way. And the other way is to start with Mackenzie looking into the missing girls, and to start with maybe one of the missing girls turning up dead in the beginning of the book, and it kind of leads into her talking about the story she's working on and branching out to somehow lead to, now I'm trying to figure out how she's going to catch on to the politician being the one behind it all. I haven't quite got there yet. Okay, so those are my 3 possible ways that I could start it. You guys could maybe help me out and tell me which one you think is better, or if you have a different idea of how to start this. I don't always start with Mackenzie, so that's one thing. Like book 2 started with book 2 was the cold case, and it started with the one surviving girl that no one knew had survived. It started with her seeing on the news that they had discovered the body of one of the friends that did die, and that's how it started. I don't always start with Mackenzie, even though she's the main character. So it doesn't have to be started with her. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But then I'm like, do I want to start with Regina already being dead? Do I want to give her some kind of context? Some kind of I mean, she's going to be very important to the story. I mean, not. Oh, she's going to be important, but not. I don't know. This is my chaotic thought process and how I tend to try to work through getting my story together so that I can even start the outline. For me, I cannot start the outline until I know how the story starts. I have to know how chapter one is going to start. Um, I write chronologically. I don't write out of order, so I can't do the whole jumping around scenes thing. So, we'll see if I have a way to start this by the end of this video. I'll be back. Oh, I forgot. There's actually a fourth option of how to start it. Actually, this is the first option I had of how to start it was to open the story with the politician in his congressional office, with the PI and his hitman, and essentially getting the rundown on what the PI found out about the mother, and in turn what found out about the daughter, and um, basically him ordering the hit on the daughter. That's another way that I could start it. I'm not entirely sure which one yet. Again, so I have four options to choose from now. I'll be back.
So he's either on the run and Hook meets up with her as she's investigating. Maybe he's trying to figure out how did I kill her, while she's trying to figure out what happened to this girl. They meet up that way, or he gets arrested and she finds some piece of evidence.
He's going to get arrested.
I don't know if you want him on the run or if you want him
He's on the run at first, but then he reaches out to his father, who is her boss, and they're estranged. I don't know if you were here when I said they're estranged, so they haven't seen each other in a number of years. But he reaches out to him for help, and that's how Mackenzie gets involved involved with that part anyway, because the best friend.
And that somehow, as she's helping, as they're piecing what happened to him together, she's realizing, holy crap, I think you know something about what's going on with these girls.
The missing girl who turns up dead, Dana, he saw her being killed. That's going to come out later, but he saw her being. That's why they wanted to pin the murder of this girl on him, because he saw something he wasn't supposed to see. Because all he was supposed to be doing was running drugs for the cartel. He was where he wasn't supposed to be, and he saw something he wasn't supposed to see.
Or it could be, and this is just going back to my journalism roots, because this is book 4, right?
Yeah.
So we obviously care about Mackenzie. You could have her waking up, getting a call in the middle of the night that something's happened. She's got to go, because that does legitimately happen to reporters.
Right.
And then she either finds one of the dead bodies, or Dana. The fact that the girl or the guy is on the run, and she's like, great, now what do we do?
Well, no, it would have to be, if she gets the call in the middle of the night, it would have to be one of the missing girls that she's already initially investigating, because she doesn't know anything about the son yet. She didn't care about.
It could be the one. So it could be the girl. She just gets the call that there's a body, because at least we're invested, because that gives you both. We're invested in Mackenzie, but now we have a reason to be invested in the girl who's been killed as well. And then we understand why she's so involved in the mystery.
Okay. And then I could do like a flashback to when the families reached out to her to meet with her, to have her look for the girls, because okay. I love flashbacks. I don't always know if I'm doing them right, but I love them.
And then you have now invested your reader in the character that they know, plus the new mystery of the dead body.
Okay, I like that.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! I like that. I can start my outline. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm excited. Thank you, Tiffany. You're amazing. And thank you, Nia and Des.
I'm here all week.
Just have to talk it out.
Woo! So there you have it. I mean, I wanted to show the entire process, but I'm not entirely sure how long of a video that would be. And like I said, I'm not exactly finalized on all of the details yet. I have a starting point, which is a huge, huge accomplishment and a great beginning for me to move forward with my outline, because I'm a chronological writer, so I don't do out of order. There have been times where I may have thought of a scene that I should have inputted into a chapter that I didn't, and then I'll write the scene and I'll go back and place it in the chapter. But I typically write chronologically. So I needed a starting point just to get going on the chapter outline, plus to figure out some more of the characters. So I did decide on, I think Tiffany gave me the idea of, instead of, I had the back and forth about the different ways I could start it, and I hadn't decided. And, you can always feel free to drop in the comments if you have a certain suggestion for a way to start it that isn't one that you heard, or if maybe you don't like the one that I'm getting ready to tell you I think I'm going to go with, which is to have her get a call from her detective boyfriend, because he got a late night call to a body that turned up, and the body happens to be one of the missing girls. There was some back and forth about whether the first body that gets discovered should be the one of the politician's illegitimate daughter, but it's not enough known about her yet, and Mackenzie hasn't even interacted with the son of Mr. Phillips, which is the best friend of the illegitimate daughter, so it's not enough of a connection for her. But because she's already working on the story with the missing girls, she's already gotten to know their families, she's already gotten connected with them, there's a connection, a touchstone there. So I think that's the better option to go with. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, any suggestions. I'm not finished the outline by any means. I haven't even really started it, but I got the starting point of the chapter, and I came up with a couple of other details about where to go next. But yeah, I'm just getting started, and finally it's starting to flow, which is great. So actually doing this video helped a ton, because I was really confused, and I talked it out with you guys, myself really, but you guys, because you were there, and I got a lot out, and then I talked it out with them backstage, and then they gave me some different perspectives that I didn't even think of, like her getting a call from the detective. I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Why didn't I think of that? I should have thought of that. But yeah, so that is going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. I post videos on Mondays and Thursdays. I live stream on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As per usual, if you would like to be supportive of me in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog site, my online magazine, my online store, or my Ko-fi page, all of those links can be found in the description box below, along with links to some other channels, my AuthorTube family, some of my favorite channels, some new channels that I recently found doing the Prep-Tober video search, and you could find new channels too during doing a search for Prep-Tober videos on YouTube. And I hope this was not too chaotic for you. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.